to live performances, art, and fantastic food. The fair has something for everyone. The 2024 Marquette County Fair, August 8th, 9th, and 10th at the Marquette County Fairgrounds. It's fun for all ages.
The Upper Peninsula's new CBS station, WZMQ 19.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Kevin Hodge. Sarah Blakely is off today. Tonight on your WZMQ 19 News, lawmakers are creating a task force to further investigate what happened on July 13th when former President Trump was almost assassinated. We're live in Washington, D.C. Plus, Michigan lawmakers look to solve the dark store tax loophole affecting smaller businesses in the state. And the Ford River Lions Club is doing their part to help beautify their town. We'll show you how. Your 19 News at 6 starts now.
Live from the UP, this is WZMQ 19 News at 6.
Air, another nice day out there today, at least here in Marquette. What else are we seeing out there?
Well, we do have some wildfires that are further to the west of us and up in Canada. We could see some of that smoke moving in across our skies over the next 48 hours. So just a heads up on that. Temperature is still really nice in the 70s. And please don't blame me. I am the messenger. We do have a heat wave that is headed our way. I'll tell you when that kicks off and how toasty we're getting.
Sounds good, Air. Thank you. And the City of Hancock Police Department is releasing more details on the suspect and victim in an ATV attack on Sunday. The suspect has been identified as 22-year-old Joshua Kempanen from Quincy Township. He had no known previous contact with local law enforcement. Kempanen is believed to have been targeting Trump supporters while using his ATV. This included running over an 80-year-old and leaving him in critical condition. Police say that victim was released from the hospital last night. And it's been nearly 2 weeks since the assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump. Lawmakers in Washington continue to press for answers and accountability over the tragic events that unfolded in Butler, PA on July 13th. And WZMQ 19's Washington, D.C. correspondent Brendan Scanlon joins us live with the latest on the efforts. Brendan.
Hey there, Kevin. Good evening. Yeah, a lot has certainly happened in the past 2 weeks or so. We've seen multiple hearings here in Congress. We saw the resignation of the director of the United States Secret Service. So it's safe to say we definitely know a little more than we did 2 Saturdays ago. However, there are still some serious concerns and questions that do still need to be addressed.
This day will go down in infamy in American history.
It's been just under 2 weeks since these shots were heard around the world. In the days since, lawmakers have toured the site in Butler, Pennsylvania, sought the resignation of the Secret Service director, and have officially laid the groundwork to find more answers.
President Trump deserves answers. The Compartori family deserves answers. And the American people deserve answers.
The shooting on July 13th took place in Congressman Mike Kelly's district.
On this vote, the yeas are 416. The nays are 0.
Wednesday evening, the House unanimously approved Kelly's resolution establishing the task force on the attempted assassination of Donald J. Trump.
This bipartisan task force will have investigative authority, including subpoena power.
Comprised of 7 Republicans and 6 Democrats, the task force will recommend reform to relevant agencies and any necessary legislation to implement the reforms.
In the military, but in business too, if somebody makes a mistake or didn't do what they were supposed to do, heads roll.
Like many of his colleagues, Congressman Jack Bergman wants more information about security preparations or lack thereof on July 13th.
My biggest question is, show me where the breakdown was of who had responsibility for what.
Bergman says the new task force is a big step toward transparency.
Well, number one, total transparency and basically a programmatic approach to this.
Kevin, that House task force will have to produce a final report on their findings by December 13th. In the Senate Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs Committee, chaired by Michigan Senator Gary Peters, as well as the Senate Judiciary Committee, will hold a joint oversight hearing next Tuesday to further examine some of those security failures that took place on July 13th. Reporting live on Capitol Hill for WZMQ 19 News, I'm Brendan Scanlon. Kevin, back to you.
Brandon, thank you. Appreciate the coverage. And UP lawmakers are hoping to create a solution for the dark store tax loophole in Michigan. Before leaving for the summer, representatives introduced the bills, but it's not the first time state lawmakers have attempted to address the issue. Our Michigan Capitol correspondent Sophia Murphy has more from one of the bill's authors on how they hope to finally pass a permanent fix.
The idea of the dark store tax loophole has been around since the Great Depression. They allow big box retailers to reduce what they pay in property tax by claiming their stores should be assessed based on the sale prices of vacant, often deed-restricted stores.
And it's really the way that big box retailers are able to take advantage of tax policy. InvestUP's
CEO explains that the loophole has created a burden in smaller communities like the UP, many of which depend on property tax revenue from these big box stores. New bipartisan legislation would prohibit retailers from using vacant, deed-restricted stores as comparables and create more requirements surrounding how the taxable value of a property is determined.
The dark stores were a long legal fight to figure out what we could actually do to make a difference. Turns out we have to literally change the definition of what a tax tribunal can do.
Representatives from the Upper Peninsula, Jen Hill and Greg Markkinen, are both a part of the latest attempt to close the loophole. Hill explains that the job of the Michigan Tax Tribunal is to hear tax appeals for state and local taxes. She says the bills would expand their powers to better ensure fair property tax assessments.
Counties have had to spend, at this point, hundreds of thousands of dollars on attorneys to negotiate new tax rates.
From the perspective of equity, from the perspective of impact to community, this really deserves and needs a change.
Similar legislative fixes have received support in past sessions, but haven't been signed into law. Hill says she hopes to see the bill passed when lawmakers return to Lansing in September. From Michigan's capital, Sophia Murphy, WZMQ 19 News.
The UP State Fair is just a few weeks away, and the DNR is looking for volunteers to mentor kids as they explore outdoor activities. The DNR's Pocket Park features a fishing pond, a fire tower, archery, and a pellet range. Just over 200 volunteers are needed each year to greet visitors, teach children new skills, and man the tower. All volunteers receive free entry to the fair, a meal, and the opportunity to invest in the next generation of outdoorsmen and women.
A lot of children who come through in the summertime and they've never fished before, or they've never had a chance to shoot a bow and arrow or things like that. And I think that's important to teach kids today so that they can carry it forward and enjoy what we all love here in the UP.
Of course, WZMQ 19 is a proud sponsor of the 2024 UP State Fair, and you can find details on how to volunteer at the Pocket Park on our website. A Delta County nonprofit is working to welcome guests to their town. The Ford River Lions Club owns this plot of land along the highway. Members have filled the once empty space with a welcome sign, a pergola with flowers, and a canoe. They plan to continue raising funds to add even more elements like a Veterans Memorial.
Our members made the welcome sign, actually went out, got the trees, cut them, and then we put, decorated a little bit, a canoe that was actually found in the Ford River. And a couple of the other members made the shadow men. We wanted something to say, welcome to Ford River, and smile when you drive through.
On August 4th, the club invites the community to enjoy its annual fish boil and Croatian chicken dinner featuring raffles and chicken poop bingo, which has been raising money for local charities for more than 50 years.
Organizations that we contribute to are Leader Dogs for the Blind, Eversight, Pregnancy Services, Delta County Cancer Alliance. It's very important to us to have new members so that we can keep this club going.
For details on the fish boil or how to donate to the Welcome Project, visit WZMQ19.com. And your first warning weather forecast is coming up after the break. Plus, a Northern Michigan University swimmer is headed to the Olympics in Paris. We'll tell you who it is. We're back after this.
Welcome to Tulsa. What you here for?
Business.
What kind of business?
And none of your business kind of business.
You gotta be a gangster, huh?
You think a gangster's cool? This wasn't necessary. You're not a Boy Scout. You're not a bad guy either.
They were in the mafia?
Nah, there's no such a thing.
Tulsa King, Season 1 continues Sunday after 60 Minutes on CBS, and Season 2 premieres September 15th on Paramount+.
John's Auto is quickly becoming everybody's favorite place to get their car fixed. John's Auto is quickly becoming everybody's favorite place to fix their car. Was that right? For a better service experience, come to John's Auto Market. Why do I keep forgetting that word? Experience. Okay, go. For a better service experience, come to John's Auto Market.
And don't forget, we're our
Direct.
Don't you ever look up at the sky and roll your eyes. You hear me?
Yes.
Realistic.
I will maybe have a tendency to
spend too much and won't be able to pay your rent.
He holds the line.
I resent it, and I resent you for doing it.
Mathis Court is in session.
Weekdays on WZMQ CBS.
I'm Rachel Knapp. Watch my reports live from Washington, only on 19 News.
Tonight's weather is brought to you by Shunk Furniture.
Chairs, chairs, and more chairs. On sale now at Shunk's de Marquette. We have hundreds of chairs, swivel gliders like this, and wingback chairs with high legs. There's comfy barrel chairs that swivel, and chaise chairs with storage. Plus, we have accent chairs for small spaces, and dressy leather chairs that will dress up any room, and big leather chairs with ottomans, or stress-free chairs and ottomans. There's chairs with bright, bold prints that will make you smile. And there's a large selection of chairs for outside. Shop Shunk Furniture at Marquette today.
Now, award-winning WZMQ 19 First Warning Weather with Air Stasic.
All right, we are going to be jamming with some classic summer weather. We've got the sun shining with Bob Marley for the next, 7 to 14 days. We could see some clouds moving in and out. And then, we didn't start the fire. Billy Joel did. And it is possibly heading our way as far as smoke in our air quality. And it's going to be very hot getting into this weekend. That's going to extend for a lot longer than some of us might be hoping. So it definitely feels like summer, or it will be starting tomorrow. So I mentioned air quality. Here's a look at current fires that are going on across the country. We also have a lot of fires up in Canada, especially Alberta and Jasper. I don't know if you've been paying attention to that, but it looks like some devastating conditions will be in that moderate range as of right now for today for wildfire stability and chances of that. But we've got these temperatures that are going to be likely above our normal situation for the next 6 to 10 days. So basically the end of July into the very beginning of August. Some of us might be happy. Some of us might be a little bit angry about that. And as we look even further to the first full week of August, the 2nd through the 8th or so, we're definitely going to be leaning above at least for a good portion of the UP. Basically, the west half just going to cut right down through Marquette County, and for the west half there, might be able to bake some cookies on the pavement or in your mailbox. I wouldn't recommend it. Definitely do some research on that, but it's going to be toasty. So the next 5 days or so, we will have some temperatures definitely in those low 90s, but considering we've got a lot of humidity on the way, it's going to feel definitely warmer than that. So Houghton heads up there, especially along that northwest coast. Look at that. Ontonagon could be seeing 90-degree temps on Saturday and Sunday. In blue, we've got close to 90 in those upper 80s for Marquette, but definitely very warm conditions expected in the Keweenaw and again along that northwest coast. So make sure you're checking on everybody that's at risk during these hot conditions: older adults, babies, children, pregnant women, and then anyone that's at risk for heat stroke and conditions like that, as well as your pet. We are very pet friendly here at WZMQ 19 News. If you put your hand on the pavement, hold it there for 5 seconds. If it's too hot for you, it is too hot for that doggo. So maybe hold off on taking them on a walk unless it's in the very early morning hours or late evening, because look at these temperatures. Even if the air is around 95 degrees, it could be quite scorching for their little feet on that asphalt and concrete. Our 7-day outlook for our Blueberry Fest tomorrow: sizzling sunshine, about 84 degrees. We'll get even toastier this weekend for Italian Fest in Ishpeming. Your 7-day outlook for Escanaba, that's in 15 minutes.
All right, thanks, Aaron. Our 19 News Insights is on the way next. Joining us today, a member of the Accessible Keweenaw Initiative. We're talking about inclusive spaces for people in need of accessibility amenities and an important accessibility summit in the UP coming up in just a couple of months. We're back in 2 minutes.
Shop hundreds of Lazy Boys at Kirkish Furniture in Houghton. Kick back in comfort in an industry-leading recliner. Choose from all fabrics, colors, and sizes with prices starting as low as $4.99 plus free delivery. Shop Kirkish Furniture in Houghton today.
Need to refresh your deck? Get an 11% rebate on the whole project at Menards. And add the finishing touch with your 11% rebate. How will you spend your rebate?
Save big money at Menards.
Looking for your next level in real estate? Look no further than Next Home Superior Living. Stephanie's not just any realtor. She's energetic, talented, equipped with the latest technology, and decades of experience to serve you better. At Next Home Superior Living, we're not just selling homes. We're guiding clients and customers throughout the entire transaction. That's Stephanie Jones of Next Home. Visit stephaniesells.com and let her work with you for your next home. Don't settle for ordinary. Choose Next Home Superior Living for your extraordinary real estate journey.
It only happens once a year. The 25th Annual Marquette Blueberry Festival. With music, arts and crafts, unique food and drink, like blueberry pizza, blueberry crepes, even blueberry beer. This will be a blueberry blast. You and your friends won't want to miss it. Friday, July 26 along Washington and South Front Streets, downtown Marquette. Presented by the Marquette DDA and sponsored by WZMQ TV 19.
The Baxter Family Survival Guide.
Dad, you taught us to be self-sufficient.
And yet you're all still here.
Expect the unexpected.
You want money. Maybe you should do what other people do.
Get my own reality show. Dad, I'm trying.
Last Man Standing.
You're watching WZMQ 19 News, live and local, with Sarah Blakely and Kevin Hodge.
Welcome back, everyone. In this edition of Insights, the Accessible Keweenaw Initiative will be hosting the Upper Peninsula Accessibility Summit this fall in Houghton, the first of its kind in the UP. The summit will take a big picture look at accessibility needs around the region. And joining us tonight from the Accessible Keweenaw Initiative is Jen Shog. Jen, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So tell us about the initiative, first of all. What are the goals?
The Accessible Keweenaw Initiative is about 2 years old with the goal of creating opportunities around accessibility. Initially, we were just looking at recreation sites, and the wonderful organization Superior Alliance for Independent Living was contracted by us and through funding from the Keweenaw Community Foundation to look at recreation sites and assess them to determine how accessible they were, whether or not they had parking, accessible parking and bathrooms, and once you got parked, could you actually do the activities? Mm-hmm. And once we completed that, we were able to help local organizations, nonprofits, units of government, to write grants to increase their accessibility. Mm-hmm. Examples would be the beach chair at Kestner Park, or the new path to the water in Eagle Harbor. And the project that I'm really passionate about as well is renovations to the Swedetown Chalet. And because we were able to identify places and identify what their needs were around accessibility, we were able to support those organizations. Mm-hmm. Once we finished that, it occurred to us that there was more work we could do around accessibility in the Keweenaw, and that's how the idea of the summit was born.
Sure. What kind of work do you see you guys need to do around the Keweenaw area specifically?
Well, first, I'd like to say I've lived in the Keweenaw for about 8 years, mm-hmm. and the amount of progress we've made around accessibility has been tremendous. I feel like our area is growing by leaps and bounds in providing opportunities. Mm-hmm. And when we talk about accessibility, 1 in 5 people will become disabled in their lifetime. Mm. And that's a pretty startling statistic. Sure. It's the only protected class that people end up joining. Mm-hmm. And when we make things accessible, we make them accessible not only for people like me in a wheelchair, but for our elderly relatives, for moms who have strollers. Mm-hmm. There's just accessibility benefits everyone.
Gotcha. All right, and we have the summit coming up in September 26th to be exact. What kind of ideas are you going to be throwing around during the summit?
Well, during the summit, we'll look at things like how the language we use matters around all people with disabilities and all people in general. We'll have people from Superior Alliance of Independent Living and from Michigan Works talking about how we can use accessibility in the workplace and the transition for our high school students through college or into the workforce. And we have two keynote speakers. One is Kaylin Partlow, who is a disability advocate with autism, and she was in Love on the Spectrum, a popular Netflix show, and she does a lot of work with young people with autism.
Sure.
And we have Robin Jones coming from Great Lakes ADA to talk about how the ADA can actually benefit businesses, that it shouldn't be looked at as a burden, but there are ways that the ADA can be used to really assist businesses.
All right. Well, yeah, like we said, that's coming up on September 26th. Still a little bit to go, but I'm glad we're getting the news out there right now. Jen, is there anything else that you think that our audience should know about what's coming up?
We are having an awards ceremony on the 27th, the second day of the summit, and we are looking for nominations from the community around who they feel have done a great job making them feel included. So local businesses, local units of government, people, and nonprofits, projects.
All right, Jen, hey, thank you so much for coming in today. It's such an important issue we're talking about today, so I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.
And Mike Ludlum is up next with your look at sports. He shows us some State American Legion baseball tournament action in Marquette. This time it's Gaylord and Gladstone facing off on the diamond. Plus, a Northern Michigan University swimmer is set to compete in the Olympics in Paris.
Coming up tonight on the CBS Evening News, for our Heart of America, meet the congresswoman that's using her voice through artificial intelligence. The history-making speech on the House floor, that's tonight on the CBS Evening News.
When it comes to ghosts on CBS, seeing is believing.
Pete discovered his ghost power. He can leave the property.
Holy Toledo. 5 blades in one razor? There's literally no way you could have more. Oh my gosh, 6.
Oh, I'm panicking. Pete's too soft for this world.
Barack Obama, Av, and Eli Manning, wait. Who are they? He must be so scared right now.
Ghosts returns October 17th, part of CBS Premiere Week on CBS and streaming on Paramount+.
Welcome back to the Big Top at Riverside Chrysler of Escanaba with more magic by E.J. the Magnificent.
And for my next trick, I'm gonna saw Holly in half.
Hold on. The only thing getting cut around here are the prices.
Make this the summer of Jeep. Lease a 24 Jeep Compass for $299 a month or a 24 Jeep Grand Cherokee for $379 a month.
Stop clowning around and get to Riverside Chrysler of Escanaba. Because buying a car shouldn't be a 3-ring circus.
She's fair.
Untrue, Your Honor.
What? You're going to have your turn.
She's inquisitive.
What in the world led to this young lady finding you in this compromising situation?
And firm.
The only thing that matters in this particular courtroom, sir, is how I see it.
Watch Equal Justice with Judge Ebony K. Williams.
Weekdays on WZMQ CBS.
Hello to you, I'm Gail King.
I'm Tony DeCopel.
And I'm Nate Burleson. This is us. We're all here to wake up your mornings to help make sense of the latest overnight developments.
What you can expect from your day before you head out the door. You'll also hear directly from the biggest newsmakers in America.
And you'll see the best group of journalists in the business with exclusive reporting and breaking overnight news.
That's a lot. Watch CBS Mornings right here on your new CBS affiliate in the Upper Peninsula. That's WZMQ 19.
He's a mind reader.
On WZMQ CBS.
Good evening, everyone. The 2024 Class A Michigan State American Legion Baseball Tournament is underway at Gerard Haley Memorial Field in Marquette. 6 teams are battling for a state title. In the second game of the double elimination event, Gaylord Post 458 faced the Gladstone Indians. We'll pick up the action in the bottom of the second inning. Gladstone's Gavin Frossard bounces to third. Rylan Rosso starts the 4-6-3 double play. And Post 458 gets out of the inning. It's 0-0, and Rosso was fired up. Bottom of the third, runner on second for the Indians. Casey Alwarden bounces the short. Colin Peel makes the play at first, but Tyler Darmagray keeps going and slides in safely. First run of the game. Top of the fifth, runner on for Gaylord, and Peyton DeWeerd with his second excellent bunt. This is good for a base hit, and the ball is thrown away. Ethan Ford dashes home to even the score at 1, and DeWeerd reaches second base. Next batter, Torino Lamorato grounds one to the outfield. DeWeerd will round third, and he will sprint home, and this allows Gaylord to take a 2-1 advantage. A short time later, Will Bethai is in the batter's box. Steal attempt, ball bounces off the glove of the third baseman, and Lamorato will scoot home, and post 458 has a 3-1 lead and a good dirty jersey in the meantime. Bottom of the fifth, runner on first. Casey Alwarden chops the third. Rylan Rosso with a diving play. Tyler Darmagray, though, is motoring to third behind it. He would score in a sacrifice fly by Aiden Cretin. Indians back within a run. Top of the sixth, Gaylord looking for insurance. This looks like a base hit, but Gavin Frossard says, no, I don't think so. Nice diving grab, preventing a base runner. Bottom of the sixth, Austin Pepin pops one up behind third base, and there's that Rylan Rosso again making the catch. I told he's one of the younger players on the squad. You would not know it the way he was playing. Bottom of the seventh, Aiden Cretin follows one toward the Gaylord dugout. There's going to be a collision between the pitcher and catcher Logan Grenier makes the catch. Gaylord hangs on for a 3-2 victory. Solid contest by both teams. Now Gaylord will face Marquette Blues in a game that should start in a few minutes if everything's on schedule. Elsewhere, in the first game of the day, Breckenridge defeated Hudson 5-0, and Breckenridge is wrapping up its game with Three Oaks right about now. Northern Michigan University swimmer Leo Noyes will compete in the Paris Olympics next week. The Wildcat sophomore is from Uruguay. The Swimming Federation of Uruguay selects one male and one female participant with the highest world ranking based on time in events. Noyes will compete in the 100-meter freestyle with the preliminary round beginning Tuesday, July 30th. He isn't in Paris, but a college assistant volleyball coach with Upper Peninsula ties, volunteered for 6 weeks with the Team USA volleyball squad. Parker Mickish did all kinds of work behind the scenes. He will begin his second season as the assistant coach at the University of North Carolina this fall. He was a very good player at Ohio State several years ago. And a volleyball player with UP ties has made a verbal commitment to continue her career at a Division I school in the South. Leah Beverly has announced she'll play for the Blazers of the University of Alabama at Birmingham. Beverly's club team recently finished 5th out of 168 teams, going 10-2 at the AAU Nationals. Leah's parents are Munising graduate Danielle Tiernan Beverly and former Detroit Lions center Eric Beverly. Tigers, they won today, 3-0 over Cleveland. I know you're shocked too, Kevin. We understand. 6 pitchers combined on a 4-hitter, and Javier Baez hit a home run. Wow.
Sounds good to me, Mike. You love to see it, especially Javier Baez getting in there. All right, we're approaching those hot temperatures coming up this weekend, and we're about to start cooling off for the night. Air let us know what to expect in the outlook coming up next.
I'm Bert Mason, candidate for state representative. The UP is struggling. Inflation is high, wages are low, housing and child care is unaffordable. Our freedoms are under attack, from the red flag laws to the new energy bills. We need conservative common sense values and sound business practices to address our UP needs in Lansing. I sit on several boards, and my business development background gives me the skills to address these issues. Vote for Bert Mason on August 6th.
Tonight, massive evacuations as hundreds of fires rage in the West. Why these fires are especially hard to combat, and after Netanyahu's heated congressional address, what will come of his meeting with Biden on the CBS Evening News.
25 years of fun, and you're invited. It's the silver anniversary of the Downtown Marquette Farmers Market. Come celebrate with us every Saturday morning at the Marquette Commons. From 9 to 1, you'll find a wide variety of local foods, produce, art, and so much more. Plus, the Wednesday night farmers market on the 100 block of West Washington Street is back from 5 to 8. For more information, visit mqtfarmersmarket.com. The Farmers Market is presented by the Marquette TDA and sponsored by Flagstar Bank and WZMQ 19.
It's an HGTV week party on The Jennifer Hudson Show. And you're invited.
We're going to get our hands dirty.
We kick things off with the Property Brothers. Plus, Little John has a demo you don't want to miss. Then the stars of Fixer to Fabulous, Dave and Jenny Mars.
We're getting some good tips. Y'all hear this?
The Jennifer Hudson Show, tomorrow at 5 on WZMQ TV CBS, followed by 19 News at 6.
Who will be there when the final whistle blows or the final votes have been cast? Will you start a career in the broadcasting industry? Be there. Go to BeThereMichigan.com.
We will be dropping into the 50s for the most part this evening. Say goodbye to that sun in a few hours, but it's back tomorrow. Temps on the rise. Look at these in Escanaba. We'll see 80s starting Saturday.
Thanks, Aaron. That's all we have for you for now. We'll see you later tonight.